Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on some more Nechromancer's Guide to Dolls, and I did a little bit of work in between things. I added this, the quote, lore, end quote, and added a little bit more here, just to kind of shore this up to make it a little bit more, where was the other thing? Added some pictures. Most of these, I'm going to try to draw these from mostly the wiki, what sources they recommend. This is Megrim Ryo, I don't speak Japanese. I also added this note here, in case you want to do just like campaigns or one-shots and you still want to use the system. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. That's Megami Noel, and where was that other? Yes. I did decide to add in the home base section. Home base and traveling. Those are two sections, and I'm going to finish that up today, actually. Give me one second. I gotta fix my damn hair. What a home base is, at its core, is exactly what it says. There's an image of a character with a skull, so I can say to be or not to be. Probably if I look hard enough. I didn't really find that much. Now, the big thing with home bases, how it works, is you have a place that's your home. Literally, that's it. This is just like a secure place that you can kind of dump resources into to fix up. Now, some of them are a little bit more, simple. Like, hey, I have a cooler. What the hell's this? What the hell is this? Google. What the... Wait a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did Google literally put in a new table system? Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, I want to pin the header to this row. Oh my god, Google did it. The absolute madmen. Oh my god, Google, you're answering my prayers. Okay, I got excited there for a minute. But effectively what it is that if you, yes, you, decide to get your particular, base set up with new things, what you can do is you can start adding on to that. Like, hey, I have a cooler, so we can store any excess basic or reinforcement part points. You can store them there. Which doesn't seem very valuable at first until you realize that you may have more basic parts than you need or more reinforcement parts than you need. Store them in there for later. Hey, we have to retreat from a fight. We don't get anything out of it. We have something to kind of fix ourselves up with. Others of them are simply things like recreation rooms, place of toys, niceties, and playthings, allowing the dolls some much-needed reminder of who they are in their hearts. +2 their next madness check, which is pretty damn good considering it's at +2. If you need a 6 up, it would be a 4 up. So pretty much you increase your likelihood by 20%. What about body bag item? Body bags, like, technically, if you look hard enough in the parts section, you could probably fluff something. Yeah, these are the parts. I said before, this was like one of the big things that I ended up doing, recording every single of the... How many parts are there? Let's see. There are exactly 119 parts. Technically, the treasure is in there as well, but treasure doesn't really count as a part necessarily, but is one at the same time. Let's see. So, that's effectively all home bases are. Stuff in it, make things better. One of the big things about it, and this is one of my little developer note here, it's the idea of that you now have something to threaten that isn't immediate. I'm gonna chop your arm off, okay? That's something immediate. Like, that's something like, oh no, I don't have an arm anymore. Now you can threaten them in a way to make them do something that isn't immediately bodily. It's not something immediately like, oh, well, you'll go crazy if you don't do this. No, it's, I'm gonna blow up your little home that you have here if you don't do what I want. Or someone is marching in to go to your home, or you can kind of pursue this memory. So you have to make you have to make a decision. Do we protect what we have now, or do we try to find something that's gone? And that's what we like to call more additional fun things. hey man, I have to accommodate for everything going forward. I gotta accommodate everything. Trust me, I got more. Trust me, I got a lot more. More than I would ever need. So travel is a really simple hex map system. I didn't want to go too hardcore with it because I didn't think that would be really appropriate. The main thing that it has outside the, basic, oh god, didn't mean to hit that button, outside the hex grid, is I also added in, I should actually put this in, I actually added in a new part, which is, well, skill technically for the sorority, which is called double time. All double time do is you choose two sisters within range, the cost of their next action is reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. Doesn't seem too valuable. But the big thing is that you can also you have the ability to force everyone to march at certain times. You also, mind you, also have the power to just pretty much reduce people's actions down a little bit. It makes things a little bit more valuable and gives you a little bit more leadership roles. Because that's what the sorority is, a leadership role. Not that everyone has to respect you for it. The main thing is that traveling, because you don't have to worry about like eating exactly because you're fucking zombies. Because you don't have to worry about eating, you have to kind of worry about when it hits night. When it hits night, every time you travel, you have to make a madness check, and you are very rapidly losing things. And I also added in a few just random. These aren't really like hardcore random encounter charts, and I even say like 1 every 2 to 4 hours or 3 hexes traveled, which is ever works best. Yeah, also, they get this one if you are a sorority with the double time skill. You can just choose to go on a death march pace, which each of these is about 5 kilometers, so you can travel about 20 kilometers in 1 hour by literally sprinting. You literally just run. That is how you do it. Yeah, to a degree, when it comes to night, you are a lot more vulnerable just because you can't see as far, and you can't see as well, and you have a higher likelihood of rolling for hostile forces. Which, usually a hostile force is something that just wants to take your shit, or wants to eat you, that wants to literally rip you in half and devour your insides, because you are very tasty, and not in that way, you freak. So, next we have to deal with Necromancer Wars. That's going to be one of the things we're going to be working on today, as well as you can tell by the title of this, is going to be called Sun Tzu, the glorious art of war. We're also going to start on the combat stuff and extended combat operations. How I want to do this, technically what we're going to do, actually what I should do is, this is going to be the really cursed one. Yeah, this is advanced health systems. This is going to be the weird one. Pretty much my goal is to get this and this done today. Pretty much all the way down to this roughly. I might skip grid combat for today and start working on things like battlefield objects. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling. So, that is that really. Pretty much how Nechronica normally handles a madness check, there, Mr. Y, is you have to roll a 6 or higher. So if I rolled a 4, I would have failed my madness check. I have to put a madness on one of my fetters. So roll again, I rolled a 9, I would have succeeded. At a +2, pretty much I have to roll, and if I get anything, if I pretty much get a 4 or higher, I'm good. It's 1, 2, 3 that it's like you start gaining madness. When it comes to Death March, it's 8 up. It's 8, 9, 10. Which makes it a lot more harder. You're going to start gaining madness pretty quickly. Like, madness, you don't get many fetters at all. And those fetters are very, I wouldn't say hard to come by, but they are very, them getting even remotely filled, if possible, yeah, because you don't roll madness checks with standard. You just don't roll them. And if you guys are already kind of fucked up, you don't want to roll standard. You don't want to use madness checks. That, and during how it works at night, is you would make a standard madness check. You would also have to make a marching madness check. So you have to technically make 2 madness checks per. You pretty much meander if you are taking your time to go to places, you're already kind of going through some of those issues. It's not much. That's the issue with meandering, is that you are not getting much out of it. However, you are getting something out of it. Because that's 3 hours out of the day. And roughly speaking, you're going to have about a traveling day of, if I remember correctly, it was... So let's see, it starts at night, comes about 8 to 6, so that would be 4, about 10. You have about 14 hours, roughly, of traveling time. So you can move 4 hexes, roughly, a day if you meander. It isn't a lot. And you're doing that if, like, it's desperate strength. Like, you don't really want to meander very much. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this is one of the big things. Camping out, you lose 1 madness point. Like, you're gonna... As long as you are moving, you're meandering if things are going wrong. So Necromancer Wars. Let's get to it. So what are the Necromancer Wars? Well, Necromancer Wars can be very easily summarized as necromancers fighting, and you're in the middle. So Necromancer Wars. If the Necromancer, which is technically the term for the GM in the game, if the Necromancer wants a quote larger scale story taking place that the dolls are simply small parts of, consider using the Necromancer Wars system. On the traveling map, there will be points of interest. We'll actually call the points of interest. These points hold strategic, cultural, or simply valuable points. These points hold strategic, cultural, simply valuable things, buildings, monuments to the old world. Necromancers. These significant points not only hold relics of the past, relics and memories of the past. They also hold these small fragments. What are necromancers in the game? In game terms, it's the GM. In lore terms, a necromancer is anybody who pretty much plays with the dead. Because in setting, literally everybody is dead. 98 to 100% of humanity is gone. They've been wiped out in wars, undead wars, the wars after that, bioplague, nuclear weapons. Literally everything that can happen happened in Necronica's lore. And a necromancer is someone who either survived that or has been raising the dead, has been fixing the dead. Normally, a necromancer is very weird. They're very strange, very alien, very uncomfortable to deal with. Because their big thing is, necromancers do not actually recognize other necromancers as individuals. They don't process that. Because they are just so disconnected from reality. Hence why they actually make dolls. Because they want something that is somewhat human that they can sort of kind of deal with. To a degree. The ultimate hikimoris. And the thing with necromancers is that you can kind of make them however you want. That's one of the beauties of Nechronica, is that you can make these either very specific or very broad. When I ran Nechronica one time, the The Necromancer I had to deal with that we dealt with pretty much was a voice in the effectively just a voice in the sky, which was the idea was that they were in a giant factory. That was the thing, that they were in a giant undead factory and he was in control room and no one could see him. And that was like the perpetual like problem was that we need to find the Necromancer to get the hell out because he's the only one who can let us out. And this guy was a fucking weirdo. So yeah, so when I'm kind of like referring to necromancers, I'm referring to them as both the GM and the like main antagonists, you would call them. Like the Nechronica lore is weird, Draco. Like just remember that Nechronica lore is fucking weird. Relics and memories of the past. Oh. Also hold a small fragment of the necromancers of a necromancer's humanity. To a degree. Ryo is a fascinating creature. Like Ryo is just a fun, interesting person to deal with. He is very weird. But he clearly loved this setting. He adores Nechronica. This is like one of his big things, and because I knew to know his latest game. His latest game is called Ventagle. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Ventagle or Ventagle or something. I don't know. I don't. And Ventagle actually takes place in the same universe. I believe it's. Think things changed like right around here, I believe. Like the early 2030s, they diverges the timeline. Instead of everyone dying, the super main bad guy, saves the day. But everyone also sucks and everyone hates each other. It's great. They also hold small fragments of humanity. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, those two? Yeah, I've looked at them. I've been meaning to go over Battle Century for a while. I might do it for the next Mac case. I might not. I don't know yet. Something that will fiercely fight over to protect. I like Battle Century Z and Battle Century G. I can't remember if that's a G. I can't even remember. I just know Battle Century Z. Yeah, I've gone over those games before. Not much, but I've read over them. They're pretty good. Yeah. Fiercely fight to protect over horde. Fight over to protect horde and actually keep away from their rivals. Necromancer Wars have these conflicts take place over the map, forcing having individual masses of the undead slam into one another and another to claim these isolated pockets of humanity. Let's see, small fragments, isolated pockets of soul. Isolated, not soul, that sounds like a meme, I'm saying a fucking meme there. To claim these, okay, these isolated pockets past. What does this mean for the dolls? In short, violence. In short, violence. Uh, a more detailed explanation is that the dolls are now simply pawns in a much larger conflict. A conflict between two entities hell-bent on destroying one another. Destroying one another, and will risk nothing. Will risk everything to do it. The map will soon become swarmed with their armies. As they bleed the wasteland dry. Alright. Traveling around, the dolls will encounter squads moving to claim points. Claim these points on the field. On the field, should they ever encounter one, they may be able to avoid it, but most likely they will end up in a conflict. These are effectively a method for you, the game master, to have the rawhide whip in one hand, the gun in the other, and being, crack the whip every now and again, being like, hee haw, everybody, are you ready to die? Because I'm going to throw in more shit, because this giant battle is taking place. And then you can also introduce savants. A little bit easier, because savants are technically loyal to the Necromancer dolls. They're loyal dolls. That's all they are. So we want to do small squads, which is going to be, let me double check the Legion rules. I'm lucky because literally the wiki has everything. The problem is the wiki has everything, and sometimes it gets a little bit weird. So yeah, it would be... Okay, so small squads. Actually, I gotta remember the fucking threat level system. Yeah, this is what a savant looks like. This is... If that's a savant, this is a soldier. There's fucking nothing. They're not really... you're not really supposed to, give a shit, really. We want to do that. We want to do... What's the calculation? I always forget the goddamn calculation. Given, only use... given threat level. Therefore, threat levels combined strength of enemies of that session. Ways, concept, choosing parts, so threat level. so yeah, we gotta deal with threats. Let me just double check the fucking threat. Because, yeah, like, Nechronica is a very Japanese RPG-centric game. Like, it's very specific how things are laid out, how things look. What a session is very particular. And sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. So let's go to, I gotta remember, I gotta go to creating enemies. I need to go back to enemy data. 1 per 5. Yeah, threat level 1 per 5. So you're going to be having to deal with a. Let me go to scripting because we got it. Literally, this is just go to scripting. Guard X, units, types of pawns, pawn strength. Threat number of players, number of threat that can be assigned of team value, number of dolls times 10. Value near. Okay, so small squad is going to have a threat level of around 15 to 20. Medium squads are going to have a threat level of 20 to 30, 20-30. Large squads threat level. If I can actually fucking spell, threat level of about 35 to 45. I think that's pretty good. Like 45 is pretty fucking big, by the way. And of course, these can always be augmented. So oh, I'm getting a phone call. Give me one moment. My car's extended warranty is about to run out. I don't own a car. I was reading the image just read in TG, and I can say that indeed one take for granted a lot of the system. Yeah, it's... You don't realize when you're going through games like these, you know, you sometimes don't think about the kind of the back end of things. Like even going through pretty much how the action point system in this game works is actually very elegant. Because your action points dictates effectively also your initiative value. But it also is a timer. That's one of the big things about it. It's a timer. Because at the end of every time, and when everyone hits either negative or 0 AP, all the dolls gain a madness. The enemies don't. So you can't... So immediately bigger attacks, like 4 AP, 3 AP, like 4 AP attacks, are really weird because their value is like, oh, well, I get to do like 7 damage now. But their value diminishes greatly because you're just being able to do less. It's a phenomenally simple system that you don't think about when you're just playing the game. You're like, oh, this is fun. I am having fun, TM. This one, you actually have to think about it a little bit more. You're like, wait a second. What would this do to influence this, this, and this? Hence why the Nechronica Discord quite literally says, don't bother creating anything. Just don't, unless you absolutely need to, or you want to. Even though I personally think that is incorrect, and you shouldn't do that. Okay, I'm feeling good. So we use these as the basic threat levels. They'll encounter squads or claim parts of the field should they ever encounter one. They may... Okay, so... when a squad enters a location, it is claimed. It's claimed by that Nechromancer. and it will slowly begin to increase its based threat level. Its base threat level. So something that may have been possible for the dolls may rapidly escalate, rapidly escalate into something not so possible. This is at a rate of about 3 plus 3 threat a day. Should a necromancer claim a significant point of interest, they may assign a savant. To it, acting as both its leader, and their eyes in the location. Taking raiding and attacking, and whittling down these defenses will be the difference between self-discovery. Let's go. Self-discovery and annihilation. And we should say is, if a location is too entrenched, actually, no, we have to do, if a location, goddamn, if I can actually, if a location is attacked by a rival squad, a battle will break. Actually, if a location, no. Taking raiding, whittling down these defenses will be different between self-discovery and annihilation. Should two squads of different necromancers come into conflict, a battle will break out. The highest threat level will always emerge victorious. But they will only reduce each other by they will reduce each other by 5 points a day. Actually, 5 points. Actually, we could probably do, because pretty much what Zombie War devolved into. No, I don't need you anymore. I don't need you. Go away. Because what Zombie War devolved into at this point was, you get your line of zombies, I have my line of zombies, and they slam into one another and start ripping each other to shreds until one emerges victorious. So if we want to do that, yeah, so we're going to have mutual loss. Let's see. Necromancer conflicts fiercely fought. They will fiercely fight. Explanation. Control Shift 8. Always remember that. Significant location. Annihilation. Whittling it down. Should two squads of different necromancers come into conflict, battle will break out. The highest threat will always mention, but they will reduce each other by -3 threat level. An hour. I think an hour would be. I think that's appropriate. They reduce each other by -3 threat level per an hour. This does allow other squads to pile into the battle, potentially making it a bloody exchange of parts and carrion. Actually, the dolls who get involved in these large-scale conflicts, may have to face increasingly may have to face certain chunks, certain parts of the enemy forces, but they will not only have to deal with a small portion of it. A smaller portion of it, portion of the squad, due to the fighting. There we go. Parts of the enemy force, what they will do. So pretty much what that's saying is, so like here's in my magic to a degree. Effectively, how I want this to play out is that you are getting in there. There's a giant fight taking place. Let's say there's threat level 30, threat level 23, and eventually that threat level 30 force is going to just beat the other, but they're going to be reduced down to a minimum of about 7 or 8. Like, they're not going to have that much. However, the big idea is that when the dolls enter the fight, they're only going to have to take a certain chunk out of it. They're only going to have to deal with like half of that force, about a quarter of that force, or they might have to deal with like a major threat inside of it. They might be surrounded by enemies, but they might only have to fight a savant or something. They might only have to fight 2 horrors or something like that. It's like not that big of a deal. It's not like, oh no, like we have to fight the entire enemy force by ourselves. Not really. But dolls who are actually competent should be able to actually deal with these enemies pretty well. Which does give me... I think I am going to increase this up to that. There we go. I think I'm going to do that. The large squad should never be your, like, engaging this with a small party is suicide. That's why you don't want to fight them. Because usually that has a savant in it. Savants are very dangerous and they will kill you. Stealing, raiding, and whittling down these forces are essential survival. A small portion of the squad due to the fighting. Execute. This isn't to say that when they deal with that chunk, their quote allies won't immediately turn on them. There we go. And that also applies to fortifications and things like that. So the idea behind fortifications are, like, if you actually have a location, the advantage is you're constantly getting more and more and more and more threat until it's just, like, impossible to actually deal with you. Okay, we put that there. We put a image right here. We put an image right here, maybe? Yeah. That does remind me, I need to do... What am I looking for? I know what I can do. I don't need any of you. I need to go here. They got a new coffee flavor at my local place. It's pretty good. It's peppermint mocha. Peppermint mocha. Meh. And I like peppermint mocha because I am in fact a small Asian woman. I hate to break it to everybody. I am in fact a small Asian woman from let's see. Nope, that's not right. Don't look at that. That's not real. Where is... Wait, is this wrong? No, this... I have to go to lexicon. Lexicon! Lexicon! Let's see. Colony management. Where am I looking for? I need to find mass battle systems. Mass battle systems, I said. Mass battle system. Large scale combat systems. There we go. Just give me terrain. That's all I need. Do I not have terrain in this one? Why don't I have terrain in this? No, Pad, what are you doing? I just need terrain. Okay, we gotta go back. We gotta go here. Let's go to... I know Iron Caskets has some. We will go to Steel Glory, because I know Steel Glory has everything. Yeah. I need to go to... Where are you? Where are you? Ah, Fields of Chaos. Das Battlefield. Because luckily, this is all I really need to worry about when it comes to hexes. So, let's take all of you. Is there anything else down there? There is that. And I need to put you down here. We're going to put copy paste you all in here. Select all of you. Go down to normal text. And we'll call this traveling. So actually traveling, actually no, terrain. Terrain hexes. Put you as heading 3. So, let's see, desert. We really don't gotta worry about you at all. Actually, nothing to worry about. Actually, wait a second. What am I doing? This is the wrong thing I should be looking at. I should be looking at not iron caskets. What am I doing? So I already have a traveling system. Think, Notepad. Think. You have a traveling system. You just need to look at the right place. There we go. Basketball compared to terrain types. Let's see. Stemmed across highland, swamp, wasteland. There we go. Actually, select everything. Come on. We want to select everything. Select it. Control C. We want to go here. We want to click here and Control V. There we go. We don't need you anymore. We don't need you either. So basketball, various terrain types. Some terrains are lethal in content carrying, others are perfect for the dolls. Also navigate through small areas and easy access bulk holes to relax in. Every terrain, no, we don't need. What we are going to do is We don't really need to do that. Is there anything in the desert that we gotta really go to? Yeah, no place for no place for a doll without good reason. Grasslands. We really don't gotta worry about any of this. This, do we really need to worry about any of this? No, we don't. And highlands, we don't need to worry about things here. Let's see. Jungle, deep in the woods. Deep in the jungle woods, a fair amount of pasture land. Actually, do we really need this? Do we really need this? No, we don't. Why am I adding this? I don't need terrain type. I don't need it. Okay, you know what? If we don't need it, we don't need it. We're not gonna have it. Fuck it. Who cares? Begone. So, what I am going to add in is we're going to need to finally add in just to make sure. Okay, there we go. And I need to put extended combat operations. There we go. Who's pinging me? Why are you pinging me? That's the question. That's the biggest question. No, why am I getting pinged? It's why are you pinging me? And I'm now worried. Is something on fire? Is someone hurt? Is someone going to die? Yeah, good. I saw enough. Yeah, Natamon. It'll get fixed one day. It'll be for next year though. So extended combat operations. So Nechronica is perhaps best well known for two things. Undead lollies, and it's fantastic, visceral combat system. Combat in Nechronica, if I can actually spell, Nechronica is the centerpiece. The be all, end all of Nechronica. Nechronica has about 90% of the parts, abilities, and actions a doll can take relates in one way to combat. One way or another to combat. It's also perhaps one of the most unique. Actually, one of the most unique methods, unique aspects of the game is that it. Actually, no, we don't want that. It's Nechronica combat. Nechronica combat is unique for a lot of reasons. Most notably, its quote health system as well as the map. Dealing how most of the cast of Nechronica are dead, dying, or mutated abominations. It's getting limbs ripped off, ripped off is par for the course. Allowing the doll to tank hits, which would normally put any other character down in about 2 seconds. That bloody combat takes place on the what do they end up calling it? I think it's called a battle mat. Combat session flow. We want to do we can do, actually no, it'd be fanworks. Scroll down, it would be the battle map is what it's referred to. On the battle map. So we want to use, this is the battle map. Is this the, yeah, this is the really awful battle map that just burns my eyes anytime I see it. Not the right one. Well, we need to go here. We need to go to official files. We need to scroll down a little bit. You gotta like list lows, part heads, token, horror, savant, head, arm, body, leg, battle map. So, how does the battle map work? Here, let me open this up a little bit more. I can explain it a little bit better. So, this is the battle map. How this works is that you would place your token in one of these areas. For example, our sample girl here, Amalia would begins in limbo. So she's going to start right here. And other characters are going to start in Elysium, and then you may also start in Eden. These are the only places on the map you can actually move. You can move up or you can move down. It's very abstracted out, very simple in that regard. So if you take a move, for example, if I go here and let's just do... here we go. Actually, no, that's a bad one. Okay, you know what? We'll do not a bear gun. That's a very bad one. Ball and chain right here. So I have ball and chain right here, and has a range of 0 to 1. What it would be is I can target anything from like Limbo to Hades, or Limbo in Elysium. I can pretty much go 1 in any direction or in 0. This incredibly abstract way of looking at things makes it very fascinating, because it is aggressive in how it handles itself. And this over here is the AP chart, is pretty much your action points. And every time you do an action, most of the time, like 99% of the time when it's your turn to do something, you're going to spend a little bit of your AP and you're going to reduce it down. So let's say I start on tick 9 and I do something that costs 2. And I'm going to go 1, 2. And I would go again on 7. And then it's my turn on 7. I do something that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I do something that's worth 2. 1, 2. I do something worth 3. 1, 2, 3. You can technically go into negatives here, but that would be your full turn. And that's moving around, that's doing things. Now, some characters have abilities which tie directly into being in a particular place. If I am in Eden, I get X, Y, and Z. If I am in Tartarus, I get X, Y, and Z. If I am in Hades, I get this, this, and this. You know, it's kind of that idea of positioning yourself is important, and moving around to various locations is also important. It's not exactly a complicated thing, with the idea being that if you are in, say, limbo with somebody, you are in limbo with them. You're kind of within melee range, you're right up on them, but it's very abstracted. So limbo may be where I'm literally on top of you trying to beat the shit out of you. It could also mean that like I'm 10, 15 feet away from you trying to pop you in the head with a gun. But this does also mean that there is, by sheer technicality, only 5 places to move. And, like, anytime you do a move action, you move up or down 1. That's it. Like, or you might get dragged away to do things. That's on purpose. This game, it's very abstract, very to the point, and where's that one skill that lets you do things? Usually it's positions that allow you to... Yeah, okay. Like Dweller in... Like, the Junk might have Dweller in Hades. That anytime she is in Hades, she gets +1 her attack check. Anytime she is right here, she's getting a bonus. That's really it. It's not exactly a complicated thing to do. However, I'm also going to be gutting this because I can. So, placing a battle map, which is divided into five pieces. 5 pieces. Eden. Because I always forget the name. Eden, Elysium. I always think it's Elysium first. Elysium, Limbo, Hades, and Tartarus. Tartarus. And 5 pieces. This heavily abstracted map in combined with the AP system, as well as being combined with the limb system. Limb system creates a strange mix of abstracted hyperviolence, which is relatively easy to teach. What will I be doing with this beautiful system? With this beautiful system here. Gutting it with no survivors. So, the big things what I plan on doing. So if I go up here to the Nechromancer's Guide to Dolls, we're going to scroll all the way up. We're going to scroll right here, preface. The advanced health system, the AHS, the advanced health system, or notepad letter or the letter rip system. Oh yeah, or the letter rip system is going to be taking the part system and making it far more detailed. Without ever removing anything. Without ever removing it. No, without compromising the core concept behind it. Or having to rewrite much. I will also be allowing the traditional 5-point field, a 5-stage battlefield to have new and exciting things on it. Such as objects, bolt holes, cover, and various other knickknacks to allow the dolls to influence the field as they wish. Finally, the largest change, the largest addition, and perhaps one of the more contentious choices will be putting Nechronica on a grid. Taking the traditional approach. Taking the traditional approach to combat. Popularized here in the West. Should allow me to add in some odd and strange additions to the base, Will it involve me having to got some parts? Got some parts and make some skills and make some skills different? Oh, of course. Of course. But that's half the fun. There we go. Yeah, this is gonna be the thing that, you know, they find and they want to hurt me under, because this is like me taking like the best part of Nechronica. This is the part that everyone's like, I love Nechronica combat, even if you can look past the lollies and stuff. This is the stuff that people do not want anything to be touched with. I, however, will be touching it with a rusty knife and seeing what I could do with it. Oh, oh, stretchy, stretchy. Okay. Let's see. We'll do advanced health operations first. So, advanced health operations is pretty simple, and I should not have clicked that. I should have. We want to go to Nechronica wiki. Bring me to the Nechronica wiki. To the Nechronica wiki. Nah. We don't need you anymore. Let's see. Doll creation. Is that what we need? Because it gets a little bit messy. Because I need to make sure, like, if I got all my basic sample characters, I think might be useful. Well, we'll do, I think the trigger happy chord is okay. Yeah, I am correct. Okay. So you get one eye. Okay, so fist, shoulder, forearm. Okay. Now, what's the actual advanced health system going to look like? Well, very simply, if I take it to, I need a, okay, you know, we'll do it in here. Hello, Mira. Hello, Mira, my beloved. So, I'm going to, so this is going to be a person. Yeah, it looks like a meeple. Shut up. So, this is our person. Now, normally, what Nechronica does is it likes to, again, it abstracts parts out. Instead of having 2 feet, you have a foot, you have a shoulder, you have, you know, a fist, you have very simplistic parts. What advanced health is going to be doing, we'll treat this as its skeleton. It's a very oblong skeleton. Is we're going to deal with all the points. So you're going to have 2 fists. You know, 2 fists, 2 feet, 2 feet, legs, and all that, including things like hips and things like that. With the quirk being, let's say for example, I get hit and my right shoulder gets hit, and I don't have a shoulder anymore. It gets severed. Well, I'm going to give you all a secret. You no longer have an arm. Or hey, I get, you know, a part of my head ripped off. Well, congratulate, like, or hey, I get decapitated. Well, good. Sorry, everybody. You no longer have your head. It's detached from your literal body. Or more accurately, what it would look like. So the idea being that you have all these parts on your body, and they're going to get hit. And if, let's say, your shoulder gets hit, you might lose your entire arm. If your knee gets hit, you're going to lose your foot, because your knee is gone and your leg is gone. Now, The hard part is going to come in very simply with the fact that you're going to have things like, oh, hey, I have a tail, which would normally go under your legs. However, obviously, the tail doesn't do that. So, that is what the advanced health system is going to be about. It is going to be quite literally me having to go through here and rig everyone up. Is it going to be bloody? Oh, yes, it's going to be a bloody mess. But, oh, will it be fun? Of course it will be fun, because I am a horrible, horrible human being. So, let's get... So, we want to do the advanced health system. So, let's see, we want to do heading 2, advanced health system. Necronica's elegance primarily comes from Ryo's desire to abstract the essentials. You don't need to worry about every single part of the human body. When in combat. Simply having to worry about whether or not it's destroyed. It's destroyed. The system is fine. Great is fine. Great even. As it takes a relatively lethal system because you are annihilated if you can no longer attack and you can no longer move, which is very hard to do because you have to destroy your shoulders, because you can spend 4 AP to crawl on your shoulders to safety. That is a complete option. Great even as it takes a relatively lethal system and makes it pretty decent and makes it pretty easy to understand. Obviously, this cannot stand. So if we take this, so our simple parts, like the base parts, so our head is going to be obviously composed of a brain, eyes, and jaw. That's just what it's going to be about. We don't really need to worry about too much when it comes to, like, here. Head's pretty solid. Like, there's nothing else there that, like, is necessary. So, arms, though. Well, we're going to have our shoulder. Though it does say that is shoulder, so we can technically do it, like, as a shoulder blade. That would be the easy way of doing it. Would be abstracting it down back to shoulder blades. So it would be more like this section right here. Let's use a different color. It would be more like this more than anything. Like, that's getting destroyed. But if that gets destroyed, like, that would destroy, like, your entire body. So, no, we're going to have to put that as individual, literally your shoulders, then your forearms. I just need to see, like, what the direct connection would be. Because look, let's take this dude for example. Because here is his shoulder. Then we'd have this section, which would be the forearm, which would be that, and then you have the forearm fist. So I guess you would count as this is the shoulder area, like this entire area, and then you'd have this. Unless we add in the elbow. Elbow wouldn't be terribly remiss. As if you get your elbow destroyed, you're also going to lose your hand and your forearm. Okay, so it would be shoulder is connected to the elbow, which is connected to the forearm, which is connected to your hand. And obviously you're going to get 2 of these. So your shoulder is connected to your elbow, which is connected to your forearm, which is connected to the hand. All right. So if I get my elbow chopped off, I still have my shoulder. I can still kind of wiggle my arm around a little bit, but I no longer have my forearm or my hand. So what would that... So support 1 with forearm. That's actually pretty, yeah. And then you obviously lose your fist to be able to punch people. So that's not a thing anymore. Okay. So we've got that. You're going to have 2 of those. And technically a weapon would go here. So you can have a weapon get blown out of your hand. Or, like, yeah, I'm getting my shoulder ripped off, which could potentially take your entire arm off. So we're going to need to add an elbow. So that's going to be, like, I'm just going to put an A right next to that, because that needs to be added. What does 2 shoulders do? 2 shoulders, action 4, not much. What does 2 forearms do? Well, it adds pretty much a second support option. So you have... let me click everything I said. So you'd have a second support option. That's not, like... That's not a big deal. I really don't think that's, like, a big deal. Because, like, that... If you're using your basic parts, something is going very wrong. Okay, so our torso. So obviously we have our spine. Our spine is going to be its own independent thing. Our entrails. Actually, what I should say is it's going to be our muscles in the chest. Oh, can't look at that. That's safe for work, everybody. Safe for work. Upper chest, middle chest. Like, core. Yeah, it's pretty much what it would have to be like is if we consult this. Like, if I were to draw, like, a pretty simple chest, for example, here. This is a very bad chest, so don't take any of my art by. So if we're to use these as, like, arms, or, like, here, for example, my big, thick, meaty arms, this is the chest area that I'm thinking about, like this upper chest area, and then you have your lower chest. So would you call this your torso? Actually, I'm curious. So if I type in the word torso, what pops up? Like, okay, so they say the entire thing is the torso. Just upper torso. Adding meat to the damage system. I think core works. I think core works for the, it's just the upper part. Pecs. Upper torso and then pecs. No, upper torso and then core. I think core could do. And to answer your question, Manly, to a degree. So it would go your... Actually, no, what we can do, we can call it the chest, because that would be pretty obvious. Like, this is your chest, and then we have your core. And then you would have, then from their core, you'd be connected to your innards, which would be your entrails, which you'd get 2 of, which is going to be entrails times 2, because entrails are very valuable. Okay. Because if you lose your chest, you're going to lose both of your arms. Adding meat to the dead. Yeah, it's how I'm going to handle this, Salmon, is the idea is that it's, if you were to stand up and look at your body, and let's say you got your, why? Because I can. So, for example, let's take your arm. So I want you to look at your arm real fast, and let's say, for example, someone were to chop you off, because you chop your arm off at your elbow. You still have access to your shoulder. you could still try to limp away. However, if somebody chops your arm off at your shoulder, you no longer have your shoulder or your elbow or your forearm or your hand. So getting your hand chopped off is a lot different than getting your forearm chopped off or getting your elbow off or getting your shoulder ripped off. You have a lot of room to actually maneuver and taking damage, and you have that for both arms, obviously. Potentially a third arm. Now, when it comes to the chest area, the idea is if I get my internal organs pretty much, if I get chopped in half, like let's say my actual core gets damaged, I'm going to be able to actually take some damage because I have entrails and things like that that'll keep me relatively in order. And what I might have to do is literally add in meat to your torso. Like, but if I like lose my torso, do I lose everything under it, or does my body lose only the head? That is something I'm going to have to make a decision on, like now, effectively. Which I would say, you lose your head, you're fucked. That you're controlling everything your head is controlling. So getting your head removed, getting your head removed is bad, obviously. Actually, what I should do, head, we can also add in the neck. So we're going to need to add the neck. Things like your chest, your core. So yeah, you can get your spine broken. If your spine breaks, you're still upright, you're still functioning, but not very well, because spine is actually very valuable. And if you were to get chopped in half, you might only have your arms left, effectively. But if you get your chest chopped off, it's pretty much the idea with like your core. If your core gets ripped off, you might still have, some entrails, and you still might have some of your chest left. So maybe we want to do something like this. Entrails core. With the idea that if your entrails get damaged too much, your core is going, and then your core can die. Or we can just, this is the cursed option, mind you. This is the very cursed option, because they don't really handle torsos at all. Like, that's not like, instead of having chest or anything like that, actually what we can do is we can add the chest, and then it would be entrails times 2. And we can probably maybe put in like, then your entrails times 2, with the idea being that getting sliced open down below is you losing all your fucking internal organs and dying. But not really, because entrails literally do nothing. Yeah, entrails are useless. They're literally meant to block that, though. I would probably add in a third piece of entrails, with the idea being that they are... Getting your chest taken off is bad, so you may want to focus on things with your entrails and get those damaged more, which would lead to legs, which your legs would be composed of, so your hips would then move into your thigh. So yeah, because then it would be like just, because if you do your thigh, so yeah, so your thigh would be then next. So then it would be hips, thigh. Actually, what I would want to do, it would be hips, bone, dash, bone, foot. Actually, what would be, it'd be your femur. So yeah, so if this wouldn't be bone, this would be femur. And then the what's this connected to? I don't remember anatomy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, Matt Salmon. Because right now, how Nechronica functions is... let me see. Where's this? So for example, how Nechronica functions is that if I take 3 damage to my... Like, I take a damage to my arms, so my fist might get destroyed. I can no longer use my fist. In game terms, it does not discriminate how any of that works. My fist could be just mangled beyond repair, but I can no longer punch anyone. I might have a second fist. What I was thinking about doing is adding 2 degrees. This effectively bulks people up hardcore. Like, very hardcore. It makes dismemberment insane, mind you. But the idea is you can destroy a part and it's just useless now. It's a libbity-lobbity, like nothing much is really going on anymore. Then you could sever it. Once it's destroyed, once it, you know, it's like you can break it and then you can destroy it. If it's destroyed, it's gone. Like, it's been... So I may break your elbow. You can't use your elbow anymore. It might not do anything. But if I destroy it, everything below the elbow is gone. And that could be very bad because you have things like this. Where it's like your arms, for example, if your elbow goes away, you may no longer have a sniper rifle. You may no longer have both your twin pistols. You may not even have your undead gun. Like, you may not have these things anymore. And that is the idea. We're giving you a lot more health in this system in exchange for getting absolutely annihilated should anything go wrong. What is the muscle attachment? What's the lower fibula? No, that's not a tibia. Tibia, then. So you're going to have 1 hip, and then from there you're going to have 2 times femur, tibia, and foot. So I'm going to stand up. All right. Standing here, I'm going to get hit. I've been hit in my leg. My leg has been broken. I can no longer use my femur. My femur is broken, but I can still kind of walk. It's like it's weird, but I can still kind of move. However, I get hit again. My femur is gone. My leg is gone. So my femur, my tibia, and my foot are all just evaporated. And I'm now hobbling. However, I get shot in my dick, and I'm broken. Like, oh god, my hips are now broken. Someone shoots me again, I lose that. I'm gonna lose both my femurs, both my tibias, and both my feet. So I'm going to be pretty much just down. Okay. I get shot in my arm. I get shot in my hand. Okay, my hand's broken. Cannot use my hand anymore. But I can still kind of like brace guns and shit on it. It's not going to do much, but I can still use it. It's still just broken. Shot again. Hand gone. 2-handed weapons are going to get a little bit more complicated. Maybe we can increase AP cost. Then we're going to have... I get shot in my shoulder. Shoulder damage. Can no longer use my shoulder to do something. Get shot again. Shoulder gone. Shoulder... yeah, shoulder, elbow, shoulder, elbow, forearm, hand gone. Okay. See, the problem is this is going to get real weird for a couple parts. What's an undead gun? An undead gun is... Actually, if I go here... Let's open her up real fast. The undead gun is, if we open her up, you see that thing right down there? It is effectively a chain gun strapped to your arm that you hold down the trigger and things die. Because they reasoned out that the only thing valuable... The thing is, the lore behind it is quite literally, they reasoned out that undead are really bad at firing sophisticated firearms. So if you just give them an item that they can just hold down the trigger, they're going to do better. So, obviously this cannot stand. Tibia foot. Is there anything immediate? So, what do bones do? Let me just double check what bones do. Bones. Move 1. Yeah, no, that's fine. You're a girl who can do anything. Spine, we don't need to worry about that. Entrails. Okay. I'm going to say it's going to get a little bit complicated when we get down to some of the mutations. Some of them are going to be a little bit easier to understand because it's like animal leg, for example. Animal legs isn't going to be... You're pretty much just going to sub out your own legs. It's going to be a part of your legs. So instead of having something like this, you're going to have like femur, femur, and all this, and it's going to be animal legs dash femur, tibia, foot. If your animal legs get destroyed, it's yeah, actually, no. If your animal legs get this, like if your animal leg gets destroyed, your femur, your tibia, and your foot are going to get destroyed. But if your femur gets destroyed, you might still have access to these. With the idea being like you still have some aspects of them that you can maybe use. Not much, but you can. Let's see what some other ones that are going to be a little bit complicated to use. Pretty much anything in the mutation tree is actually very complicated. Let's do data. I want to filter view. I want to create a new filter view. These ones are simple. These ones I really don't got to think about because it's mostly tied to your arms. Enhancements are almost entirely drawn from things that are there already. Like, oh no, my cyborg is tied to my torso. Cool, you're just kind of fitting in basic parts. You're giving yourself a little bit extra health. It gets a little bit complicated when we get down here to mutations because some of these are a little bit different. Like extra legs, okay. Extra eyes, okay. Extra arms. These I might have to add. Any of the extras, what I might have to do is add in the fanworks version of them, the Notepad Guide to Dolls version of extra arms, extra eyes, extra head, extra this, which instead of being extra arms, rapid, you can make perform one action move of your choice, as at the time was rapid, it's going to be, you literally have an extra set of arms. Like, you literally just have an extra arm, so you have a lot more health. You pretty much have tripled that, arm health. Double the arm health. Extra eyes. You don't really gain anything except extra eyes, which eyes already do stuff. Not much, but they do things. Or just add in more eyes to your parts for the advanced health system. Okay. Alright, gamers, let's do this. So, hips, tibia, femur, foot. Like, bones really don't do anything, but I'm going to have to put in a note for each of them. So, obviously this cannot stand. The advanced health system is a, quote, proof of concept. It is a proof of concept system that allows the dolls. The advanced health system allows the dolls to track their debilitating injuries. Taking injuries with more accuracy, allowing them if I can actually spell, allowing them to understand that a majority of their arm has been ripped off, and they are currently unable to use their gun anymore. So, let's see. So, we want to do capital head. Actually, no. Each part of the advanced health system, and is connected to one another. Actually, what I should do, half of me want, we're adding neck, so neck is what we'd want to do. So if you get your neck broken, that's going to be a little bit different than having your spine broken. Okay, so each part of the advanced health system is connected to one another, allowing individual parts to be damaged as normal. However, if a part is targeted again, then they will, the part will be dismembered, flying off into the distance, or being so mulched that it's impossible to even use or recover. Possible to even use or recover. Should a part connected to other parts be severed, then all connected parts quote down the chain will also be severed. This turns Nechronica into a tactical game of deciding which parts to target, and what's best to lose. Sometimes the best option is to simply accept your demise. There we go. Oh, it's pitch black in my room. I should really turn on the lights, but I don't want to. I want to do this. Okay. Head. Actually, no. Can we fit everything on this? I think we can. So, head. And what we need to do is brain, eyes, jaw, neck. And then we're brain, eyes, jaw, neck, and we're going to put an insert. I need to put in a footnote here. Each individual part of the head, actually I should say developer note. Each part of the head is unique due to the head being a quote central focus. Should the doll be decapitated? Should the doll be decapitated, they will still be able to move around as a head. Which is I'm literally going to have to put one in the neck, which is going to be like, yeah, cost 6. Congratulations, you can move. Like, so Yeah, okay, so head. So then we have arms. Actually, it's, no, we need to do torso first. Not head, we need to do torso first. So it would be torso, Control-Shift-8. Chest and entrails times 3. And what note? Developer note. Developer note. In additional entrails, represents most internal organs. Organs, functional or not. Not as well as bulking up the chest area, bulking up the health of the section just a little bit. So, well, actually, this would be technically like this. Actually, no, spine is independent. And then we're going to do this to represent if your chest gets destroyed, then your entrails are going to go. Your chest is going to Yes. It was entrails times 2 is default. I'm putting it up to 3 just to bulk it up a little bit. Just so you don't get your entrails just immediately evaporated and then you lose your entire legs. Like that, it's just a little bit more because entrails are supposed to act as kind of a health, like a bonus health kind of way, you can almost say. It's to allow the dolls to bulk up a little bit because in game, entrails do nothing. Like entrails do absolutely 0 for you. The only thing they do is that if you get your torso targeted, you have something to destroy that is valuable. Mostly because spine is pretty valuable. And it's, it's actually a pretty impressive thing to get your spine broken and things like that. Spine is an independent thing. So let's see, spine, then into entrails times 3, and then I should actually say neck into spine. So actually neck into spine. I'm gonna have to. I know I'm gonna have to make a chart here to see what everything is actually connected to. So arms. Arms are pretty simple. Like you get 2 arms, and then that's Control-Shift-8. 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 So you get 2 times shoulder, elbow, forearm, hand. And then we have our legs. And which it's going to be, guess what? So actually, we don't need to worry about animal legs anymore. Hello, Kenshi. So it'd be 2 times. So your hips. So your foot. Your feet are acting pretty much the exact same as last time, so we don't really need to worry about that. Hips, do that. So femur, tibia. So what parts do I need to make? I need to make an elbow part. I need to make a femur part. I need to make a tibia part. Femur and tibia are fine. I don't really need to do that much. I need to make a chest part, however. And I need to make a neck part. So we're going to do that. Let's go here. Now I need to go to the Untitled spreadsheet. And that's, no, I need to go here. I need to go to classes. I need to go to, actually, we're going to go to basic parts because we don't really need, these are going to be basic parts effectively. We're going to select everything here. And paste it right here. So, what do I need to add? I need to add in neck. So, cool. First things first, neck. So, neck, head. Timing, timing, auto, cost 0, range, cost actually none, range 0. No effect. Your neck is kind of there to help you make sure you don't lose everything else. Actually, what I should do, here's what we can do. Here's the gamer moment. So we can actually add in connected spine, torso. Then it would be neck into spine, torso. It's further down the chain. So if your neck gets severed, your spine gets severed, and in turn, like, no, actually, no, it wouldn't be your spine. It would be your neck into your chest, torso. Because if your neck gets severed, you're gonna lose your chest, which is gonna be losing everything. So that's the connection there. And we do this, we do that, do this. So neck chain. So femur and tibia. What? Let me remember what the bones do. Wow, move 1. So femur. So femur, legs. So what I should do is just select everything here. Select all the... Yeah, as you can tell, there are a few things I need to consult here. There we go. So this is going to be femur. Femur is going to be 3. Actually, no, femur is going to be 4. If you're using your tibia, it's going to be easier to move because you actually have a little bit more. Because the idea being, like, your femur is literally everything below your knee is gone. Which it makes things a little bit more complicated, which is going to be legs. Legs, timing, connected, and it's going to be hips. Down the legs to femur. Across the way to tibia. Across the way to foot. And it's going to be move 1. We're going to select all of this. Connect it down here, which is going to be tibia. Tibia is going to be 3 if you have both, because again, it's the idea that moving without a foot, not impossible actually. Like, it's you're being able to kind of shimmy yourself to where you need to go. You're kicking yourself. Oh god. Ow. Owie. I don't like sneezing. So, tibia, femur. I don't need you anymore. Begone. Actually, if I don't need you anymore, I'm just going to exile you to the Shadow Realm over there. Connected, it's going to be neck into chest, torso. And that also means I need to worry about chest. So what does a chest do? Well, having a chest does mean quite a few things. So we want to do chest, and that's going to be torso low. And we're going to be having do we want to make it a timing for something? What do we want it to do though? If you just have your chest, literally if your chest, that means you could potentially, so that's kind of like your upper body. What can you do with your upper body? Actually, I know what we can do. Chest, we're going to make it a... We're going to make it a... On the damage, we're going to make it a cost of 5. It's going to be a range of self. And it's connected to... So this is going to be... Neck, chest, hips, next hip, chips, / neck, chest, shoulder, arms, hips, legs. There we go. With the idea being that, technically, if your chest gets severed, if your neck gets severed, you're going to lose everything. However, if your chest gets severed, you're going to lose your shoulders, you're going to lose your hips, but not your neck. So, and this is going to be defend 1. This is going to be the only 5 cost ability in the entire game at this point. This is the only 5 cost one. And why is it 5 cost? Because I don't want you to be using this, because this is a defend action as a basic part. It's useless, though. You're doing this if you quite literally have 0 other options available to you. You are doing this because you're fucked if you don't. I think I know what I can do with you, though. So I need to go to there. I need to go to basic parts. I need to go to not the spine, foot, bone, shoulder, fist. So we need to go there. And I need to put you right there, and you're going to be arms. And I need to put you as an elbow. And your elbow is not going to be your fist. You're going to be a little bit more expensive, unarmed attack 1. Why is it going to be unarmed attack 1? Because the idea is that you're literally going to elbow somebody in the face. So this connection is going to be shoulder into elbow, into forearm, into hand. It's a little bit less efficient, but it's another option. Into fist, I should say. Shoulder into elbow, into forearm, into fist. Okay. All right. Okay, actually, what I can do here... This is going to be cursed looking, by the way, but I need to do this just for my own sanity and to say that I can. So, we need to shrink this down to the bare minimums. How far can I get this to look? There we go. The absolute smallest I can get it. Cuckoo ka-choo-choo. So, here's what we're going to do. So we're going to... Actually, do I really want to do this? This is pretty much my idea was, because if I go here, I select fist, and then go back here, paste you right here, put fist right there, go back here, select forearm, put you right there, and then we can put in shoulder, which is one of, I think, 3 different 4 cost abilities in this game, like this. So, the idea being you can go shoulder, your elbow, your forearm, and your fist. And you... It would literally just go down, so... Into this, into this, into this, into this. Technically, if I really wanted to play with this, but yeah, so this would be this. Like, I would need to play with this a little bit more, because I need to do that. leg bone's connected to the arm bone. The arm bone's connected to the head bone. Yeah, I'm not going that hardcore just because I kind of got to use this the way it is anyway. But I don't want it to be that odd. So... Oh, wait a second. I forgot about hips. I got to do hips. If I go here, I go back here, select elbow. We don't need elbow, and this is going to be hips. Hips, it's going to be into legs. What should this do? This is, again, your hips. Nothing. I don't really think your hips are going to do much for you in the heat of combat. They're useful in combat, but it's usually because of something else. So it's going to be a cost of none. None, it's going to be a range of self, and it's going to be a auto, and it's going to be connected to your hips, into your femur, into your tibia, into your feet, into your foot. And what I should also put in is going to be your entrails into your hips. So in your chest, then your entrails into your torso. There we go. Entrails into your hips, into your femur, into your tibia, into your foot, and then your unarmed attack 1, it's going to do nothing. It's literally going to do nothing, because that's literally not what they're supposed to do. Okay, we've got all these. Cuckoo, choo-choo. Good job, everybody. Let's see. Torso, spine, head, So what we want to do is we want to select... So our bunch of new parts, technically this would be range 0, actually range self, cost none, auto, because range self is different from range 0, because range 0 is everybody in the area. So we're going to do that, range self. Cool, let's get all of these shifted over. You may be wondering, Notepad, why don't you just do them all in bulk? Because I don't want the middle part here. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to do like almost a diagram of how the health is going to work now. And we want to put that right there, and I'm going to have just enough space for everything I need to put it in here. Yeah, there we go. They're not in alphabetical order or anything, but it should work. So, under the advanced health system, do I need anything else? No. Okay, good. Under the advanced health system, every part is connected. Every part is connected. This does enable certain parts that are taken to increase their effectiveness. And requires them to be connected to something. So we're going to actually take Amalia here real fast. So using Amalia as an example, she has the reinforcement parts of tail, stinger, spikes, adrenaline, and cracked flesh. She assigns each as the following. each has the following. Tail is actually it's going to be hips. Hips into tail. Stinger into... Where did I end up putting the stinger? Oh yeah, stinger into tail. Actually, no, it would be hips into tail, which is going to be in turn attached to the stinger. With the idea being that her tail literally has a stinger at the end of it. And then her spikes is going to be, her chest is going to have these spikes on it. And she's going to have adrenaline. Adrenaline is going to be attached to her head. You know, adrenaline attached to her head. And cracked flesh attached to her head. Which it is attached to her head. Because in the head, you don't really need to do anything, because it's your fucking head, and you're just getting your fucking skull caved in. So, let's see. Adrenaline, cracked flesh. She assigns it as following. Certain parts do create certain parts which are not strictly... Certain parts are a bit more complicated. And as such will be addressed here. So this is what we're going to do for the rest of the time. Like, I just need to get this to a place where I know I'm comfortable with it. Like, this is I've been using Amalia as my example because she is a pretty standard character. And she has a few mutations because I like mutations. I think they're cool. Will be addressed here. So, what are our problem children? Well, our problem children are almost entirely in here. Otherwise known as mutations, because mutations sometimes add things. Some of them are pretty easy. Adhesive pads go on your feet. You can get your adhesive pads tore off, but not your feet. Albino is just going to get attached to your torso, and that you can just... Yeah, there's a little bit more there. Here's a vision of others. Claws, pretty simple. Heart, pretty simple. Magatos. Yeah, patchwork. At the end of battle phase, parts damage. You may regenerate this part in one basic part. Okay, so patchwork. We're gonna need to put you. I'm gonna put you in a separate one. So patchwork. We're gonna call this advanced health system. Advanced health system rework. Right, yourself in the battle phase. The part has been damaged. You may regenerate the basic part. What we need to do here is actually, you may regenerate this part in one basic part. If this part has been severed, then just regenerate, and this regenerates. Then you just regenerate. This part can sub out one entrail for free. You can sub out one entrail for this part. No. Then just regenerate this part, and then just regenerate this part. Okay. But the idea of patchwork is quite literally, like, you just have these patches on your body that are just patchwork. Like, if you get it completely tore off, it's not really that big of a deal. You're just regenerating yourself. Slime. This one's pretty standard. Tail, that's pretty simple. Slippery, not really. Slurper, that's just a tongue. You're going to put it on your head. Animal ears, put it on your head. Bone spear. Put it where you need to. Boy, I'm not going to comment on that. So, okay, here's one of the complicated ones. Here's extra arms. So, extra arms. So, what the hell? Why did it not? Oh. Okay, so extra arms. We're going to end up calling this, what I can do is we're going to call this quick draw hands. Quick draw hands. Former, AHS rework of extra arms. We're going to maintain it, but we just need, because extra arms is its own AHS rework. Quick draw hands, we may perform one action maneuver of your choice, and extra arms is going to be auto, cost 0, actually none, range self. You have an extra set. You have an extra arm, meaning you have a shoulder, elbow, forearm, and you have a third shoulder, elbow, hand. This part may be taken multiple times. Actually, maybe taken 2 times. There we go. It's pretty much like how I envision the shoulder. The shoulder is less your shoulder and is a little bit more like your upper arm. Like, it's kind of hard to word it because like shoulder has its like own unique connotation in the game, because that's your oh fuck, I can no longer move now, please help me. So I kind of, shoulder is kind of like your upper arm, kind of like your, I'd say like halfway up your arm, like halfway down your arm, I should say, from your shoulder. It goes to about there. That's how I'm seeing it. So like a third arm would be like emerging from the back. But I guess I could actually remove that. Yeah, no. They have a second elbow, third elbow, forearm, and hand connected to a shoulder, connected to a shoulder. Yeah, there we go. So now that would work. Because either you can interpret it as pretty much your elbow is growing off this, so you kind of have like a second option available, or you can fluff it as like it's literally growing at the side, so getting it cut off isn't really that. Okay, that works. It's perhaps not the most beautifully elegant solution. However, it is in fact a solution. And sometimes that's all you can deal with. Oh, Jesus, why are people... Oh, no. Oh, God, 160 new messages in my server? That's never a good sign. That is never a good sign when I get 160 new messages in my server. I love you guys to death, but God, you guys scare the shit out of me. Extra eyes. Let's see. Extra eyes. We don't really need to worry about you too much. Extra eyes, except I'm just going to have to make like a dedicated post here, which is where it's going to be connected. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. No, extra eyes is fine. Extra eyes are fine. Because it's, yeah, they're just going to be connected to your body. Scales are fine. Slobber is fine. Stinger is fine. Tentacles is, that should be fine. Vine is fine. Cold light's fine. Horn should be okay, because the idea, what would be, okay, no, that's fine. So legs. So, oh wait, no, we need to actually select it. Select everything, Control C. Go here. I'm gonna smooth this. I'm gonna put it. Why don't you want it? Animal legs, AHS. Uh, AHS rework. Animal legs. Action. Let's see. We want to do legs. Legs. Action. Move 1 or 2. Replace femur. Replace femur. Actually, replace both femurs with animal legs. There we go. With the idea being, oh Jesus, you all concern me. So the idea being that you are replacing a subpar part with a decent part. You are replacing this, which isn't actually very useful, with animal legs, which animal legs would enable you to do more things effectively. Like it's just like it's cheaper, it's better to actually just have these, so it'd be connected, it'd be hips, animal legs, tibia, and a foot, because instead of having that, your legs would be a little bit more augmented than that. Okay, so that works. There we go. No. That's exactly how I want to do it. Replace both femurs with animal legs. Even though that does make them very powerful. Because technically you'd get 2 of them. No. I'm fine with that. Because you want to know how you now deal with, oh no, they have animal legs and they can jump around really quickly and stuff like that. You want to know what you do? You fucking tear their, you tear their like, you just rip them in half. That's the plan. It's like, aha, I am super powerful. Cool. Your hips are gone. Sorry, you legitimately no longer have a lower body. Your animal legs were really cool. They're gone now, but you have fun, have fun, asshole. Like, oh no. Let's see. Corpse mushroom. That's not really. Cracked flesh. Oh, deadly flesh. Yeah, this should work just fine. Extra head. This is where things get a little bit odd, because we have to do things like crack. So extra head, the AHS rework. Timing auto self, and we go to here. What's the head attached to? So the head has brains, eyes, jaw, neck. So okay, I know what we can do. Okay, I know what we can do. I need to go here. Maximum action points +2. If any part of the head is destroyed, if any basic part of the head is destroyed, head is destroyed or severed, regenerate it immediately. Can happen. Can occur once. Can occur once per battle phase. So the idea being that, okay, so bear with me. Here's the context. Here's how this is going to work. You're going to get this. Replace all limbs with animal legs. Technically, that would be possible, because there is, actually, now that I think about it, there is no animal arms. Actually, let me, okay, we're going to go. We're doing a little bit of a exploration here. I need to do sample characters. What does, is it the Holic? Yeah, the holic. What arms do you have? Yeah, you have claws. So technically, if you really want to make yourself a cat girl, you fucking weirdo, you do this. Just go nuts with animal legs. You know, animal legs and claws. Animal ears are essential. But become the cat girl. Get your limbs ripped off. Have no fear. What are they gonna do to you? Rip your other hands off? Let's see. Extra head. So the context here is you have your maximum action points +2. If any of your basic parts are severed, you are regenerated immediately. You can only do it once. With the idea that you have pretty much a backup head to sever, you take parts from. Actually, what I should say is this regenerated immediately. Regenerated immediately, but the extra head is destroyed. Yeah, is destroyed. Not severed, just destroyed. So pretty much if any part of your head ever gets targeted, you get a freebie with it. Instead of having like, oh, well, my brain is now gone, or oh, hey, I can no longer see, you'll be like, well, you can do that. In exchange, you're putting out 2 action points. But it's also very useful because you can also use it with your neck. Like, hey, I was literally going to get decapitated, and now I can save myself a little bit because only half my head maybe is flailing around when it shouldn't be. I'm not entirely 100% on this one though. I'm gonna actually mark it in orange. Actually, no, mark it in red. That I'm not 100% on it. Let's see, extra legs. Flesh whip. Hey kids, here's my flesh whip. No, don't do it. Don't do it, kids. Extra legs. We want to do extra. Actually, we want to do AHS rework. AHS rework. So timing, auto. Parts located upon your legs other than this one has been destroyed. User maneuvers as usual. No. You have an extra leg, meaning you have a third, meaning that you have a third femur, tibia, foot. Meaning you have a third femur, tibia, foot. Can be taken 2 times. What I shouldn't wear is animal legs. Place all femurs with animal legs. There we go. So, yeah, this is part of like the translation is flawless. You have more than 2 legs, like centaurs, like octopi. You have been given multiple legs. Is it because Ryu probably said that? Yes. Does it sound good? Absolutely not. And so you're going to get condemned over there. Oh. Extra leg. And that does remind me, I need to literally go back here, select everything, use this, and I need to go to, I'm going to keep clicking all the wrong ability. God fucking damn it. Go here, select everything. I said select everything. Control C. And I need to come up with a new name for this. If parts located upon your leg. Oh, I know. Not athletes, like, autoreactive sinew, AAH, And that would be how to AHS rework. AHS. Advanced health system rework of extra legs. If parts located upon a leg, parts located upon your legs other than this one have been destroyed, you may use the maneuvers as normal. Yeah. Okay, let me see. So, and why one leg? It says legs, extra legs. You have an extra leg. Yeah, it says extra legs. That's the term of it. You can take it 2 times if you want. So that's why I'm saying, like, you can have extra legs, and I don't want to be like, oh, you just have an extra leg. You can take it 2 times for legs. And because I want to keep the names relatively similar as possible. So you like, that's why I'm like being like extra arms. You get an extra arm. That's literally all the reason why. Because I want to keep the names relatively similar. Flesh Whip's fine. Happy Pill's fine. Liquid Rot, that's fine. Oh yes. Yes. How can I forget such fabulous things such as quadruple amputee? Right. Okay. Hey kids. When you take damage to your legs, arm, or leg, you may divide that damage among all your locations as you wish. So it does not apply to damage with the explosive effect. What's the context? You have no hands, no feet. There's no pain shoved into your body at all. There's no pain being shoved into your body at those parts. What the fuck? Also good. Welcome to me. Welcome to my life now, Salmon. When you take damage, your arms and leg, you may divide that damage among your locations as you wish. If you need to make a dismemberment check, choose one location to make it for. So what we need to do, okay. Quadruple amputee is going to get a little bit of a difference. Which is going to be, it's not going to be a thing anymore. It's just rework of quadruple amputee, which is what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to put that there. And actually, we can just do that. Okay, so when you take damage to your arms or legs, divide them at all the locations as you wish. This effect is not applied to explosive. Actually, not really. That doesn't really need to make any difference. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think about it at the top of my head of how to do this because I've never seen anyone depict this at all. Because I don't think this is the correct term. I don't think this is actually the white. I understand what he's going for here. Because the idea is because you don't feel any pain in these sections, you can just relocate damage across your body when you take it to your arms or your legs. Which makes things a little bit more complicated because that's not quite how amputation works. Because, fun fact, kids, if you get amputated, it's a little bit different. Fuck it, we'll keep it. I'm good, I'm not that good. So, let's see. I need to... What other parts could there possibly be? Adrenaline, that's fine. Armor skin, bolt head, that's pretty obvious. Jet nozzle. Yeah, it's pretty sound. Limited remote attack. That's fine. Saber tooth, that's fine. Arms, yeah, it comes to things like saber tooth, like you'd have, I would say, like, make sure you tell them that you need to, like, attach it to something. That would be, like, my only thing there. Like, cyborg's pretty simple, because all cyborg would be is that that you replace a body part, you're just a little bit tougher in it, in addition to having defend too, which is very good. Lightsaber, yeah, this whole fucking lightsaber. Manipulator, pile bunker. Yeah, no, that's fine. Nah, we're good. We're good there. So it's mostly when it comes to mutations. That was kind of the problem children when it came to because mutations add things a lot more than the others do. I should say hands, arms, hands. I'm also I'm gonna put patchwork, put it anywhere because I think that's appropriate for that kind of ability. But the idea being that, like, you can just slap it anywhere, just like you're a patchwork monster, and people like you for it because you're adorable. Extra arms. Animal legs. Extra head is like the one I'm like completely uncertain about, hence why it's going to be marked in red, and I'm going to have to make a note for it. Like, this, let me put a footnote. This one is developer note. Developer note. This one is weird, so take it with a grain of salt. So take it with a grain of salt. I like the idea behind it. However, the execution of it, it's kind of it's a lot of theory because it's effectively doing what the legs do, what extra legs normally would do. Today I will take one more leg to be tripod man. Yeah, pretty much. Well, you don't want to be tripod, terrifying monster man? Go for it. Bitch, we're already being cracked, like getting ripped in half as, monsters against, godless monsters. We may as well commit to it. Come on. Get your shit together. Okay, we'll put an image right there. Down the chain. We got all our health here. And okay. So all parts now have technically we'll say 3 stages of damage. 3 stages of damage. Actually, it would be what would be healthy? No, that would be the correct term. Uh, fine, fine. Actually, no. I have 3 stages of damage, which is going to be destroyed. Actually, no. All parts have 3. Okay, no. Functional would be the correct term. Functional, destroyed, severed. A functional part is operating normally. And all maneuvers can be used with, and all maneuvers and effects are able to be used as normal. A destroyed part is mangled and cannot be used for maneuvers. Cannot be used for maneuvers at all, but all parts remain attached. A severed part is either completely mulched, or cut off. During this time, all parts down the chain, all parts quote down the chain are also severed. Are also severed. A severed part cannot be used or regenerated mid combat. Yeah. Actually, yeah. A severed part cannot be used. It's not. At the end of the battle, while calculating the amount of limbs and actually amount of basic and reinforcement parts. While calculating the amount of basic and reinforcement parts, any severed part is required. Actually, I think about we'll calculate the amount of basic and reinforcement parts required to patch the doll up. The only part that would need serious repair is the destroyed / severed. Is the destroyed plus destroyed and severed part. Is destroyed and severed part. So, for example, Amalia has had her tail severed. Amalia, during a particularly bloody fight, had her tail severed, destroyed, and then severed. While searching for parts to fix herself, she only needs to repair the tail, actually destroyed and severed, losing her stinger as well. While searching for parts to fix herself, she only needs to repair the tail to gain back her stinger. As it was undamaged when it was severed. Okay. So how this works, we'll take the arm for example again. My elbow is destroyed. It then gets attacked again and severed. My forearm and my hand are gone. At the end of the battle, all I need to do is fix my elbow. If I can fix my elbow, I can then suddenly get my arm back and get my forearm, my arm back effectively for free. It's not that serious of an issue that you just have to pay normal regeneration cost. It's not like you need to replace everything. So that should work. So actually, destroying severed part, requiring two reinforcement parts or two basic parts. Actually, basic reinforcement or basic parts. There we go. Instead of just having one, you need two. Go. Yeah. Actually, no, we do that, comma, requiring two. Okay, that should work. Okay, we added a bunch of new things. We are Gucci. So, what are we going to do now? We've made some pretty good progress on the health system. This is kind of what I was looking to do. So, we're going to go up here. We're going to click this button and extend combat operations. So, big thing. So, the advanced health system is done. What we're going to be doing on Friday is this and this. These are going to be our priorities. Battlefield objects and scavenge goods. And then we're going to start and we'll see how far I can get onto grid combat. grid combat should either be pretty simple or complex, depending on how many little parts and shit I need to work with. Pretty much, it's pretty much a game of, with all the parts available, how do you fix it, or how do you adapt everything, which should be easy enough to do. It's just going to take time. I will most likely add some other stuff, just additional parts, additional aspects, just to spice things up if need be. And I will say, if anybody ever has any suggestions what they would want, feel free to tell me. And it's a weird one, but it should actually function. And then hopefully, my goal would be to try to get everything done on Friday with the sections. It'll be a later stream though, so I'll probably just power through. Just do a notepad must die on it, just get everything done. Next week is going to be about the special issue orders, which is going to be about the non-doll dolls, which is going to probably sum up most of it. I'm estimating probably about 4, maybe 5 episodes for this one, just because it's going to take time. And in case anyone wants anything additional to it, I can add it if need be. But overall, like, abominations shouldn't be too difficult. Robotic entities shouldn't be too difficult. Animals, like, none of the actual like special issue dolls are going to be complicated to make. They're just going to take time, and it's going to be a lot of adapting some systems together to make it want to work. Like, the abominations can't actually use this advanced health system. That's like just not a thing that can occur. Because abominations are quite literally going to not have any direct parts. They're just going to be an amalgamation of shit. It's they are going to be just a mass pile of parts and stuff that moves around, but it's always that pretty much all damage they take will always be explosive. Like, they're always going to take 1 damage here. They're always going to be able to kind of distribute that damage, which is both going to be good and bad, because it's like, yeah, they're going to start losing parts pretty quickly, but they just have an absurd number of them, because they are literally a flesh abomination of God, and who barely can think, but are also a little bit too smarter than what they should be. Robots, that's going to be I know how to do robots. Robots are mostly going to be mostly a theory of how to do things. And yeah, if there's any other suggestions, feel free to tell me, obviously. If you would like any other non-combat stuff added, tell me. Any other weird combat things with it, including how like dolls operate, tell me. I'll add them. But thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anna. I will catch you all on Friday. And my back. And tomorrow, late tomorrow, if I do it, there might be another stream about me either possibly finishing up High Fleet, just to finish it up, just so I never have to think about it again. So thank you all. Godspeed. Good luck, and I will catch you all on the flip side. I am